This episode is brought to you by TaxAct. Don't do your taxes alone. Join TaxAct's National Admin Night. Admin nights are social gatherings for getting through your to-do list. So get ready for a night of fun, finding deductions, and filing taxes with TaxAct, where you can file your federal and state return for just $49 through April 8. Let's get together and get them over with. Visit taxact.com/admin-night for details.
Welcome to The Secret Life of Cookies, where we try to solve the world's problems through the miracle of carbohydrates, one recipe at a time, with host Marissa Rothkopf and her dog, Bosco.
First, let me start with a thank you. This week's episode marks the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. 1 whole year of baking and talking politics and current events with some of the best and definitely brightest of the bunch. My first thank you goes to you folks, though, my listeners who've been supportive and thoughtful all year long. I like to think, we've created kind of a nifty community of like-minded people. Second, a thank you to all the people who've supported me throughout the year. First, my brother David, who helped me launch, my husband Mark, and my other brother Paul, who've been super patient and thoughtful and have taken on the challenging role of taste testing. There's Bosco for cleaning up the floor around me when I bake, and of course, Grant Havers and Chris Cotnoir, who have helped at every step. And to all my amazing guests, among them Kathy Griffin, Mary Trump, Joyce Vance, E. Jean Carroll, Simon Majumdar, Valerie Bertinelli, Jen Taub, and Katie Fang, among others. And now, for my especially special guest, the beloved author Charles Finch, he of the Inspector Lennox Mysteries and a new nonfiction book, What Just Happened, Notes on a Long Year. We baked gingerbread cake, just the kind of thing the sleuthing Inspector Lennox would have enjoyed during a Victorian Christmas. Welcome to Charles Finch. It is a true pleasure to have you here on The Secret Life of Cookies, not just because you're amazing and wonderful and all sorts of things, but also you are my 1 millionth guest. You're not, but you are my 1-year anniversary guest. We are celebrating together 1 year of The Secret Life of Cookies, and I could not be more pleased to have you as my guest.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I can't believe I get to be the 1-year anniversary guest, and I'm not even baking. Because of various COVID and Omicron related reasons, I'm sitting at a desk watching you bake, which is actually kind of soothing. So I feel like I'm getting the anniversary present. Thank you so much.
A lot of people find watching the Great British Baking Show very soothing TV.
Yes.
Right. And so I find
a lot of people kind of sociologically as if you're not implicated.
Yes, I am not implicated in that because I get a little nervous because I'm going through their recipes and their procedure and their technique.
That must be because you're skillful. Whereas to me, it all seems like a miracle. It seems like a miracle that anything comes out of the oven. I want to hate Paul Hollywood, but when he says it could have used another minute in the oven and you're and everyone looks at the baker and he's right. I mean, that to me seems but to you, that must seem like a matter of inches where you're oh no.
Yeah, I feel, I don't know. And I'm a little oh, Paul, don't be so critical. These people really tried hard, which is kind of my approach to baking, which is why I have a show where I teach people how to bake via, the airwaves, as opposed to actually showing them. But I believe anyone can bake. So that's my sort of thing here. Before we go deep into the subject of books, apparently there's all sorts of things going on in the world around us today, which I'd like to talk about. I'm just going to quickly talk about what we're making, which is gingerbread, because tick, 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 Christmas. And I was inspired by Inspector Lennox, the sleuth in your series of mystery novels, because he's a Victorian gentleman. And I truly associate gingerbread with Victorian appetites, even though it dates all the way back to the Middle Ages and the spice trade. And that's when it became our Christmas thing that we started to eat lots of spices.
So they started importing ginger and that became a Christmas tradition?
And cinnamon and ginger and nutmeg. Well, not nutmeg yet. Nutmeg would have to come from the Caribbean, and cloves. And those would be what you ate on feast days. And they tried to make it so that everyone could have that. Almost all stratas. It started, of course, at the tippy top, but then it kind of made its way down into the middle class. Middle class of the Middle Ages. Yeah. And so that's why we eat, like if you go to Germany, it's like Lebkuchen, hard and soft Lebkuchen, gingerbread cookies. We have all these spice treats that we eat in Western culture because of that.
God, I mean, I feel like I'm watching like a really good Wikipedia entry. This is incredible. I can't believe it.
There's a lot more I could say on the subject. I'm giving you
I want to hear more about Lebkuchen. What's a Lebkuchen? You can't just drop Lebkuchen down in the conversation and pretend that I know what that is.
Oh, well, I mean, most people.
A classic Lebkuchen.
Oh, yeah, the classic. I mean, come on. Folks, let's take a moment just to feel embarrassed for Charles Finch, shall we?
I'm so sorry. I didn't feel like that.
Anyway, Lebkuchen is, I have a German and Central European background, and I have this ancient card written in my grandmother's Edwardian script, and it's really curly whirly and uppy downy, which is, I think, how she was taught, right? Curly whirly and uppy downy. And she has this recipe for Lebkuchen, and it's basically, I could make one now, ship it to you by sea all the way around to the West Coast, and it would still be fine when it got to you. It's one of those
I accept
desserts.
your offer.
Also, like most
so
British desserts too.
It's just like a big dense piece of like matter. One of those cookies.
It's honey, which is a good preservative, almond flour or ground almonds, and lots of spices and eggs to bind it together.
As I learned from a Snapple bottle lid in 1997 or so, honey is the only food that doesn't spoil.
That's right. Alexander the Great got his head sent home after it was chopped off in a barrel of honey to preserve it.
As a preservative, your references are much more highbrow than mine already. I feel ashamed. I'm so sorry. Lebkuchen, Alexander the Great. Okay, let's bake.
I'm sitting in front of a bowl full of hot water and molasses. And molasses to me has a very distinct smell, kind of bitter, sort of unpleasant. I don't really like it, but it's kind of a wonderful base for gingerbread. And that's what we sort of here in this country pour all our spices into. And it's very easy to make. And it's really why I wanted you to try it, because it's like, not that you're simple, but you've just never baked a lot before. And it's really a question. Too simple as I.
Is molasses what comes out of the trees in Little House in the Big Woods?
No, that is not. That's maple syrup, I think. Yeah, they make maple syrup candy in the Little House books.
Okay. Molasses then is, you're dealing with a true ignoramus, as I think you can tell already.
No. Molasses, come on. I've read all your books. Yeah, you're no ignoramus. Molasses is an extract from the brown sugar, from the sugar making process. So it's one of the things that comes off of that, and part of the triangle trade and all the horrible things that we did in our lives.
If nutmeg's from the Caribbean, why is Connecticut the nutmeg state?
I have no idea. I have no idea. And it was one of the things I know I've looked it up at one point. So I wonder if that's
maybe
where the
it's probably very easy
nutmeg.
to look up.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be. Yes, that's it.
Maybe the ships from.
I suspect it's going to have to do with the slave trade, and it's just going to be a bummer of an answer. Should I look it up right now live?
Yeah, look it up right now. I want to know what's happening.
Okay. A lot of people ask about a writer's process. This is my process. It's just Googling stuff.
Yeah. And and the rabbit holes that one falls into.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my friend Rebecca has this great advice, which is she tells her students, you should just write short stories about the 5 things you like fall into the deepest rabbit holes on Wikipedia about.
Oh my God.
Which is interesting. And everyone says the same thing, which is I just look up the same stuff as everyone else, which is like, whatever, Victorian carousels, Nazi Germany, and whatever. And she's like, no one else is looking that stuff up, you weirdo. And it turns out everyone thinks that they have these universal interests, and she gets like great stories. Okay, the sobriquet, the nutmeg state, is applied to Connecticut because its early inhabitants had the reputation of being so ingenious and shrewd that they were able to make and sell wooden nutmegs. You could have given me 1,000 guesses and I wouldn't have said that.
I would have never, ever guessed that they had. So basically they were sneaky.
I mean, yeah, that's what I think of when I think of Connecticut. It's a lot of tax dodges up there,
Yeah. And
I'm joking.
I know. No one I know from my father grew up in Connecticut. So basically they could sell wooden nutmegs because nutmeg looks like a round piece of wood.
It's kind of like an NFT scam back in the, it's like 1610s NFTs were wooden nutmegs. You could pass one off on someone and sell your little wooden ape. Okay, we can bake gingerbread.
No, this is.
Can I just interject? Can I
Yes.
just interject? I truly love gingerbread. I was so excited, but my gateway drug was Pepperidge Farm gingerbread men. That was like my childhood addiction.
Me too.
And
with
so
the
I
crunchy
can't,
sugar.
I don't have like, yes, exactly. I don't have like a high class gingerbread love, but I do love it. And when I've had good gingerbread, I feel like I appreciate it because you don't get spice in dessert enough. That's as a savory person.
Interesting. Okay. Well, then you're in the right place. And
Exactly.
all those Victorian British desserts that the Brits eat still to this day. I'm married to an Englishman that are leaden and heavy with raisins and oranges and spice and all sorts of dried fruit. Those, you would love them if you haven't already eaten them. Mince pies.
Also, I lived in England, and there was at my college, there was a tradition where they would bury the cake on the Christmas and then unearth it the next year. And so we taste it. It just tastes like awful. It's like a fruit or like just a rum bomb of like, or I don't know what they use, but it was kind of funny. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Why is it so heavy? Why are they all so heavy? To preserve them, I assume?
Well, no, I mean, they're just really, really dense. There's absolutely no leavening or little leavening in it at all. And so basically you dump everything in a thing. And there must be 2 pounds of dried fruit in a Christmas cake, right? And then you can and then you like keep soaking it with brandy. Like you make it in September and you feed the cake every week or so with brandy, spooning it over. 1 for me, 1 for the cake.
7 for me.
7 for me.
That's the British way.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Screw the cake. Oh, sorry. Then no matter what it looks like at that point, you coat it in a layer of marzipan or marzipan, as my husband would say. And then a layer of royal icing, which is that fondant-y stuff.
Disgusting.
Or sort of like fondant that you see. Yeah. And disgusting.
Truly vile.
Truly vile. But also it's better than wrapping your cake in plastic wrap.
It just it's like a Jurassic Park amber.
Exactly. It's amber for cakes. I'm taking that line. That's great. But we're talking a lot about baking, and I want to talk, I'm going to crack 2 eggs, which will be the strange noise people hear at home, because there are nice eggs in this to keep it all tied together. And I'm also going to add chocolate chips to my gingerbread cake, mostly because I've made 3 gingerbread cakes working on this recipe over the past week. And I need a little, a little something. And I believe you can add chocolate to anything.
Chocolate gingerbread? Have you found like precedents for this? Or have you done this before?
This has been done before.
We're breaking new ground here. Huh?
And on top of that, it's really popular in Germany. You could make Lebkuchen.
I was going to say home of the Lebkuchen.
Yes, home of the Lebkuchen. You can chocolate dip a Lebkuchen, people.
Well, let's not get too crazy.
No. But it's Christmas.
It's true. It's true.
It's Christmas and the world's going to pot. And speaking of which, I did enjoy your latest book.
What a promising start. I can't say I enjoyed your latest book.
No. I know, but it's hard because it's all about the year that was.
I know.
And in fact, it may be turning out to be a Groundhog Day or Groundhog Year with our friend Omicron. I misspoke when I said I didn't enjoy it, because of course I enjoyed it. And I don't think I actually said that. And I think my words are being taken out of context.
I'm joking.
And what I really said, I've learned a lot from Donald Trump. Anyway, what I meant to say was, for such a terrible experience as 2020 was, rewalking the path of 2020 with you, literally your actual meanderings, like you wandering around the streets of LA yelling at wolves and getting chocolate-filled cupcakes, my favorite. I mean, cream-filled cupcakes. And don't think I didn't pick up on all the food references in your book. That's my thing. The Odyssey was just about people grilling lamb, as far as I was concerned. That's my only takeaway. Anyway.
I always think of C.S. Lewis when he said, anytime it's getting too down, I put a meal in.
Oh my God. That's going to be my new family motto.
Isn't that the best? Yeah, it's like, it's so true.
I'm so surprised I never heard that. Re-experiencing it along with your feelings was soothing in a way, because one, it made me feel less alone, right? Even though I was in a house with people, the experience itself was so unusual.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be like a lifetime of figuring it out. I don't think it's going to be like a month or two. Like, I think, so the book is called What Just Happened. And it's about, for those of you who are just here for the baking, just to,
no one's just here for the baking.
Well, I'm partially here just for the baking, to be honest. I want to know what's going on that mandolin or whatever you have. But anyway, it's called What Just Happened. And it's a kind of a chronological journal with essay-like entries about 2020. And so it's like divided in between what life was like, baking in March of 2020 and like having sourdough starter and all that. Yeah. And then there's some Trump stuff that's, I hope, kind of funny and not too heavy. And it's
so funny and insightful in that way that humor can be.
Thank you. Yeah, I think 2020, I just think we're going to be thinking about it I think there's like a before and after kind of Vietnamish feeling to it for me, where it's like, I mean, that sounds melodramatic maybe, but like we all did this really unusual thing, and people who didn't do it are going to be sort of have a different sort of mind, like people who don't remember what it was like to have done it, or I just think that's going to be a dividing line. And so this book is maybe I don't know, I hope a first toss at understanding what it was like.
As a historian, it's to me something really, really useful for future historians, because it's so in your mind and so aware of everything. Like you've done like as a historian, like when you read like Daniel Defoe, Journal of a Plague Year, you got to do a lot of extra legwork to really know what was going on. You've done a lot of the legwork for us by telling me like what's on TV, what happened in the news.
Yeah, exactly.
So future historians will thank you. You have some really wonderful insights into and humorous. I can't even say it's a humorous take. It's just sort of a wry take on what happened, what it was like to experience Trump during this. And there's a quote that I scribbled down on a piece of paper in front of me that I want to read to you loudly. And that's a piece of paper turning over for all you people. I mean, aside from the fact that you described Brian Kilmeade as a Furby-like personage.
Gosh.
I will
Brian
never.
Kilmeade.
Kilmeade. Okay, this is the quote. It really brought it all home to me about the Trump administration. Apparently it's still ongoing. Did you know he's still the president of the United States?
Well, isn't he going to be reinstated by fiat or something?
There are people out there who you can interview who say, it's
happening any day.
They believe he's president anyway.
Oh, already currently president? Oh my God. Well, maybe you can negotiate with Joe Manchin then.
That might be the
maybe
person
we can
for
throw
us.
him in there, get him to, no, oh God, too dark.
Too dark. So you write, if you step back a foot or two, it all seems like a piece of the real high insanity stuff. No different really than Caligula making his horse a senator, except perhaps that it's more reckless. And I like your, I really like that you sort of pulled back there and said, perhaps it's more reckless when.
Well, the horse is kind of a neutral actor in the
yes,
you have to assume. Whereas, Betsy DeVos is out here like, with a sniper rifle at elementary school, just like wishing she could. I mean, she's like, doing everything she can to immiserate children, like for years on. So, I mean, what are you supposed to think about a government that, I don't know, at least there's an honesty to the horse.
Exactly. There's a true honesty to the horse.
Fuck you, here's a horse. I'm going to, excuse my language, but it's like.
You know what a horse does, right?
Yeah, exactly.
These guys are unpredictable, except that they were extraordinarily reckless, continue to be reckless, have left a legacy of recklessness in Congress, right?
It's true. And are still going. I mean, the court, it's whatever. We could bemoan it all day, I guess.
You also said in the book, I can't believe that this is paraphrasing. I can't believe we have justices named Brett and Amy.
God, what a comeuppance for America. Exactly. Brett and Amy are going to see you out.
Exactly. So I'm going to take a quick break from crying over the America. And I'm going to do the greatest thing possible, which is all I've done is one bowl of dry ingredients that actually smells really good because it has too much ginger, too much cinnamon, too many cloves. So even if you don't end up making my recipe for gingerbread, the key is always have an unsteady hand with the spices so that you add more than it says.
Is there a balance of spices that's like considered the rule of thumb?
I don't know. I suppose.
Do you just do equal parts of those things, kind of?
Because if you put equal parts cloves, cinnamon, and ginger, your mouth will burn. Like it'll hum. Cloves make your mouth hum. I mean, it's kind of it's like the Szechuan peppercorn of baking.
Of spices. I like the candied ginger though, with a little kick. You get that around Christmas sometimes. That's really good.
Yeah, and it's a good addition to this too, that you could just toss in so they get a quick.
You see, Marissa, you seem pretty reckless yourself. You'll throw anything in there. Candied ginger and chocolate.
And then I'll feed it to a horse. Anyway, you just add the liquid ingredients to the dry ingredients, and basically you're done. So it's really, you don't even have to like cream butter. The butter's melted. So it's a really easy recipe. I also add recklessly some orange zest to it because Christmas time comes once a year.
Can I ask, on the first 3 goes of this, what mistakes did you see in your gingerbread? Or were they all good and you just like to do it over and over?
No, the first one, I didn't have enough molasses in the house, so I substituted honey for half of it because I really I've learned to like honey and spice cakes and things like that. I got to say, it was a little dry. Different recipe too. So I started being a little more generous with butter and water, because you mix water and molasses, and then just said, oh, screw it, I'll just use molasses for the whole thing. I will say I've been eating, there's piles of aluminum foil wrapped things over there that I haven't distributed to my neighbors yet, but the really dry one has aged pretty well. I like to hand it to people and say, it's really dry. I hope you enjoy it.
I mean, it sounds like a good dunker. Is it a good dunker?
It's a good dunker. Toasting it with butter, maybe some cream cheese.
That's a little too crazy for me. I'll dunk it and be happy. I'll just stay there. Toasting gingerbread with cream cheese?
Oh my God. Or with butter?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Are you above making shapes out of your gingerbread?
This is a cake, so this I can't make it. I'm going to also make a gingerbread cookies, and those I will make shapes out of.
I feel like I want a gingerbread house, but there's no chance I'm going to go to the effort of making it, right?
Never. No, buy them the ready-made, because you're not going to eat that stuff anyway. It's just about gluing like having piles of candy near you and gluing them on the house, isn't it?
I mean, that sounds great.
Right, exactly.
I don't even need to do the gluing. I can
just pop it in. Exactly. I do make gingerbread cookies, and I have ninja-shaped ones, like ninja-shaped cookie cutters that, of course, we call ninja bread.
Oh, gosh.
I've become that house.
Tip your waitresses, folks.
Thanks. Hey. So speaking of sad jokes, talk about segue.
Back to Trump.
Back to Trump. Exactly. But really, I woke up this morning and he's decided to sue Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York State, for even threatening to sue him. And that's really his modus operandi. And I'm a little fed up about it, especially as I'm fed up with the idea of him. And I was wondering if you'd like him to be president again. No.
Why do I regret voting for Donald Trump? Well,
no, I never did. I don't know about you, if you had much dealings with Trump supporters, but I remember distinctly talking to someone who said, don't worry, no one president can have too much impact on the United States.
Oh, gosh. It's hard to hear. You know, maybe they're right. Maybe we're going to survive, but it seems 50-50.
It seems 50-50 to me. After January 6th, all bets were off.
Sorry, wait, this is not cheerful gingerbread, a 1-year anniversary conversation.
So I shouldn't talk about Omicron now and how's it going?
How's Omicron going? So far, okay, I guess. No, I think this is all going to be over soon. That's my Christmas message, is like, I think this is going to become, they've been saying for months, it's going to become endemic. It's just going to be like the flu, and we're going to have vaccines and boosters, and it feels awful, but I don't think it's actually like March 2020. Like, you know, I was so scared. Everyone was so scared. And it was really like there was sort of a predator on the streets. Like, it was like, you were like, if someone touches something and I touched it a day later, and everyone was sort of, so I do think there's this kind of like PTSD, collective PTSD we're all having right now, where it's like, we hear this word Omicron and we're also scared of Omicron, myself included, that it's like, we have this like Omicron fear. And maybe it's time for us to kind of, I don't know, retire that mode of feeling from March 2020, I sometimes think.
I would like to think that way. I think the next 3 or 4 weeks are going to be pretty brutal.
Oh yeah. Hell.
Because everyone already is sick from COVID that I know. I mean, really, truly, it's like pretty unfortunate. And I hope you all are feeling better. And that I got the letter yesterday saying that my son was exposed to someone on his athletic team. And so we'll be getting him PCR tested today. So there's that.
I hope he's all right. He will be, right? He's vaccinated. And so
he's vaccinated. And all the other kids who've gotten it in his school, which I think last week were like 23 or 25 kids.
Whoa.
So you see, like, I have the feeling again where I live here on the East Coast. Oh, in New Jersey, which is like the most hard hit state next to New York right now, that it is the predator in the air right now. Like, you can't wear a good enough mask to prevent it.
It's true. It seems like everyone's kind of like, 100%. But, the hospitalizations are not that high among people. I just want people to get vaccinated. That's what sort of breaks my heart, is like watching it spread and just feeling the helplessness of just being like, there's an incredibly easy solution for free anywhere in your neighborhood, and people just being like, no way, and then just dying. And it's, we're going to get to 1 million deaths. And as I talk about in the book, I remember when we were saying, well, we could lose up to 50,000 people, right. I mean, it's kind of, that's the nightmarishness that like underlies all these other fears to me is.
Absolutely. Me too. You have a doctor friend that you talk about in the book named Nathan. How's he doing?
I think he's tired. He's great. So he was one of the first people to deal with COVID cases. And, I talk a lot about his experiences because he was learning on the fly how to deal with this disease and worrying about getting it himself and stuff like that. And now it's kind of like, I don't know, like it's what we were just talking about. Like I think the hospitals are incredibly full. Everyone's quitting. And as part of the Great Resignation, people are like, I don't want to work 70 hours a week as a doctor and get yelled at for, and I think everyone's just at a breaking point. It's really tough. I don't know. How are we going to get out of it? Just time.
Time. I think it's going to have to be time.
Yeah. So I think that profession particularly right now is having a difficult moment.
And the other thing that's really hard to come to terms with, and I think a lot of people who are heading home to see family for Christmas who come from divided families are going to experience family who are like, don't even really realize that COVID exists, even though it's all around them.
And to care more about protecting them from COVID than they care themselves but I mean, maybe it's a time when people will be able to convince people to get vaccines. Do you think that's implausible?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not from a divided enough family, I guess.
My family is the opposite, like totally together. We have all believed the same things, but I know from other people who are like, it's like explaining to like a kid that Santa Claus doesn't exist. He does exist if their kids listening, but it's like explaining to people that to them, COVID is like, it's not something real, and vaccines, they can't do anything. They could hurt me. There's a lot of crazy out there. So speaking of all the crazy out there, it's been a kind of brutal week watching like the Build Back Better get trounced on by people like, just one person, Joe Manchin. And it made me think about one of my favorite games that I used to play with my mother because that was the house I grew up in. But it's my Dante's New Rings of Hell game. And in the Rings of Hell, Dante,
a classic mother-daughter game.
Exactly. Driving along, what do we talk about? Makeup? No. What are you going to talk about?
I love it. I think it's great.
Dante's Rings of Hell. And I also have to say that my mother, who was a scholar, I think that's what we call her. She was real smart and a scholar and stuff like that, was also an enormous fan of the Inspector Lennox series of books. And
really,
when she moved on to the Great Library in the Sky, which was recently, I got to take up all of her Inspector Lennox books and move them to my house. So they're here.
That means
now.
so much to me. I really can't even tell you.
She was the greatest connoisseur of mystery books in the whole world. So
I'm so honored. Thank you.
It's really nice.
Truly.
So she passed that on to me, and now I'm talking to you, and boy, she would be very excited.
Oh, that makes my day. Thank you.
Thank you. But that was a nice point. Let's go back to nasty.
So Dante.
So Dante and the Rings of Hell, he was punishing all the bad people hanging around Florence then. And I would like to think up new circles of hell for some of the people who have, undone us, say politicians. They had their own, like the eighth circle was all with different pouches where different people doing different evil things could go. And could you, where would you put Joe Manchin?
Oh gosh, Joe Manchin. Well, I feel like you want to get people at their most, what they care about most, like their downfall. And I feel like this is actually something that puzzles me, is like what really drives him. Is it just like he likes the attention of being like the philosopher king centrist? Yeah, I think he's puffed up. So it would have to be something really, I think like he should have to work in one of his coal mines.
That's
or something
a nice
like
one.
That. In total anonymity, while knowing that he was Joe Manchin.
He has to have that inside knowledge. That's good.
Yes.
While people above the coal mine are driving around in his Maserati, and he can hear
exactly. He has to like feed coal into everyone's Maseratis and exactly. And he has to wear his little suit and his little pin and his little special hair cream and go down in the coal mines and do that. That's what I want for Joe Manchin. What would you choose?
I think that's fantastic because you mentioned the idea of anonymity. And I think that's exactly right. Because right now he's craving being the big man.
Right now he thinks he's just like, he's like, Elon and I are running this country. Just that kind of.
Ooh, does Elon get to go into one of the circles?
I like barely want to expend the mental energy on him because I find him so boring. He's just like this like teen loser that I despise who just like, but for Elon, gosh, what would it be?
No, I think actually you're right. Let's not expend any mental energy on him. Good, yeah. It's the holidays.
Exactly.
But what would you do to Trump? What sort of punishment would you give him in a ring of hell?
I mean, that's the hardest one, isn't it? That's the hardest. He kind of defeats the system because his like inner motivations are so elusive. Like, is he just a child in total arrest at like the age of 2? Is that possible?
Yeah.
And how are you going to punish that child? It's very hard. But I would like him to, the thing you always want from him is to admit his wrongness. So a punishment that would fit that, because he just will never like look someone in the face and be like, I'm sorry that I exposed 500 Gold Star families to COVID knowing I had it when there was no vaccine. Like he won't do that. And so like, but you can't confront him with his failures, to quote Jackson Brown.
Maybe, and this might come across as too cruel for the holiday season. So
there's no bad ideas.
Well, I think he's a very wounded child, right? From reading Mary Trump's book, you have this sense
Your guest, Mary, one of the highlights of year one. That was a great episode.
She talked about how like desperate he was for his parents' attention, right? So what if he had to constantly apologize to his parents in hell?
Wow. Like, yeah, sure. I mean, have you seen his parents where his mom looks like him in a wig?
Frightening, like upsweep of hair.
Yeah. You know what I think Trump would hate the most is like if he had to hang out with his own voters. Like I would make him move in with like a family in Mississippi that loves Trump and lives in like a shotgun shack and has no money and raw sewage floating, and he has to live there for eternity. How about that?
Oh,
but he doesn't get to be worshipped by them. He's just like a member of he gets it. So he has to live with his voters. I think that's with the people he's like, using.
And eat their food and wear their clothes and sit on their non-guilt
unfortunately,
toilets.
He might like the food. He might like the but I'm willing to take that loss.
That is it. I think, you know what? I don't think we can play this game further because that is too good.
Okay. Wow.
Because you're absolutely right, because he despised his voters.
He loathes them. He loathes them. It's really it's a sad state of affair. Why am I such a depressing podcast guest? This is like a cheerful Christmas.
No, you are not depressing in the slightest. I don't know. I appreciate the sort of having playing this game to me, it makes me feel a little more in charge of what's going on instead of just being a victim to it.
I love the game.
I think we have to wrap up soon so people can wrap up. That's like a Christmas. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to. Somebody cut that out. It's a family disease. Anyway, I'm going to take this gingerbread gingerbread cake. I'm going to pour it into a big 13 by 9 inch pan, and it's going to bake up to be about 2.5 inches thick and moist and delicious. And gingerbread gets better with age, like we all want to.
Interesting. Here's my question is, so I probably have one big baking effort in me this holiday season, and I'll make one thing because I like to cook. Like I love making soups and so I'll cook all day, but baking I find like nerve wracking, but I do like to bake one thing. Should it be this gingerbread?
If you like spice, I might bake this gingerbread, but I also might I made some 5 spice gingerbread cookies, like that are really intense, that have the crystallized ginger in them. And I use 5 spice powder, which is
so that might scratch my Pepperidge Farm itch.
It might scratch your Pepperidge Farm itch by all means. Or there's always Lebkuchen.
I'll just start churning out Lebkuchen.
You guys can't tell at home, but I was shaking my head. No, it's totally an acquired taste. Anyway, as we lean into, I hate that phrase, as we head into the Christmas season, it's the last week before Christmas. And the greatest last minute gift of all time, especially is books. And I wondered, as a man of books and letters, of which you are.
You got my business card, I see.
I did, man of books and letters.
That's all it says.
What books can you recommend? What should we all rush out and buy for as a really great last minute gift for all our friends?
I just bought a copy for my sister of Eve Babbitt's Eve's Hollywood. Eve Babbitt just died. She was a great chronicler of 60s and 70s LA and Hollywood. Just a beautiful writer, and kind of there's the famous picture of her with Marcel Duchamp playing chess. I mean, she's one of the great lives. And New York Review of Books has released a bunch of her old books, and I'm in love with those. So I'm giving those. But that's just like the last thing I got. I'm trying to think what else I really adored. I always like to give people Paul Beatty's The Sellout. I think because it's like a funny novel, but it's also kind of like a good novel, which is like, people will usually want like a fun novel, but not necessarily a good novel, but they'll be happy if they get a good novel. And so I think that's like in that amazing spot where it's like really fun to read. But did you read that one?
Yeah, it's a wonderful book. You're absolutely right.
I love that book.
Scratches
so that's
all
something
the
where
itches.
You can just get you can just that's a $14 little paperback you can get for someone, and it's like a nice so I like that kind of book. I don't know. I need recommendations though. Are you giving anything really smart and good? Hoist on Your Own Petard.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. No. It's so. I mean, listen, we're all dealing with less than a full deck of cards right now. I can barely remember what I'm currently reading.
I know. I often describe books by just the color. Like, it is the most beautiful, like celadon green. And they're like, It's really pretty. And I'm really enjoying it.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. I promised to post my list of great recommendations on my Substack because they're all in a beautiful, ask me again.
Okay. Here, can I give a cooking recommendation? Lori Colwyn.
Please.
I feel like that's always, you can only give happiness if you give happy all the time or home cooking or something.
Oh my gosh. That's exactly what I give people. Thank you. How did you know? You totally read my mind. I read all the Lori Colwyn books in the run up to my wedding because I was agitated, and it's the only thing that would calm my mind before sleep.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I love it.
Those books are wonderful and worth reading, and even worth cooking out of. There you go. Thank you for remembering what my recommendation was.
And happy all the time, I think, especially, that's like sending St. Bernard whiskey to someone. That's just like a guaranteed little burst of happiness. I
read that, and then I read all her novels this year too. She's the best. I got them all out of the library. It had that wonderful scent. I mean, these books were published, in the 80s? They had that rumpled, crinkly outside and that smell of musty library to them. And they must have been, all the pages were soft from hands turning the pages and sort of wearing away at the pages. The best. It was the best. So yeah, Lori Colwyn. And all the Inspector Lennox series. Just give them to people because we're all going to be inside. And if people haven't read them yet, then they can have them all and just eat them one after another because they're so wonderful. He's a great character.
Thank you.
We can talk about him. Maybe next year you can come on and we can talk about him a little more.
Next time I'm going to bake something really good. You guys are all going to have to be quiet. I'm going to do something amazing. Next Christmas, okay?
Next Christmas. You can practice in the meantime. But I thank you so much for coming on today. And I hope you have a really wonderful holiday. And I'll send you a picture of the gingerbread. I'm sorry, I can't send you any.
I'm going to send you a picture of whatever I make. It might end up being like a pie or it might be gingerbread cookie, but I'm going to make one thing and I'm going to send you a picture.
Ooh, pie. Make a pie.
Yeah, I love making pie. That's kind of fun. Okay. Thank you so much, Marissa.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you so much to Charles Finch for being my very special guest. Go celebrate the anniversary of the podcast with cookies, of course. And if you would, please leave a review on the Apple site. I would be most grateful. Share cookies, share joy. Have a wonderful holiday.
We're leaving today and entering a world of Mickey Mouse waving, princess meeting and greeting, lightsaber clashing, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror dropping, Banshee flying, Space Mountain launching, galaxy rewinding. What's the point with galaxy rewinding? Fireworks igniting. World of other worlds. For whatever you love. Infinite worlds await at the most magical place on Earth, Walt Disney World Resort.